Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back. I'm EBINOTTI, and today we are doing New Moon Tarot. So New Moon is currently in Gemini. Make sure if you're following along that you check out the other elementals for each of the moon cycles. We read for the new moon and the full moon, and we do all 5 elements: ether, earth, air, fire, water. Okay, so today we are going to be working with the water element. Earth is currently up, air is currently up, and of course we always start with ether and the collective. So I'm just settling into this energy now. The new moon has actually been, dare I say, it has been smooth? I mean, you could analyze it. Oh, it's been great. Oh, it's been crazy. Oh, it's been, but we're gonna go with it's been smooth. I feel like it could have been so much worse. And so far, the divine feminine, which is what we read for, if you're new, hello, hi, I'm EBINOTTI. We read for the divine feminine because I am a divine feminine, so that's how we do it. But whether you're embodying your masculine energy, you are a divine masculine, or you're embodying your feminine, you're a divine feminine. There's something in this reading for you if you've made your way here. Always, as always, take what resonates, use your own discernment, and leave what doesn't. Okay, but for the divine feminines, the energy has been smooth. Now, we felt a lot of it in the mental space, sometimes in the gut, so all throughout the body. The body's been it's been chaotic with the body. It's been a little chaotic. Hold on, let me just find my Kleenex as my nose starts to drip. It's sinus infection season, flu season, whatever you want to call it. So there is a lot of chaos. There has been, a lot of chaos. But it just feels like it's not getting in. It's not quite making its way in the door. Okay, it feels like shit going on in the streets, but we're inside, the doors are closed, we can draw the curtains and we can just turn it off. We can just pretend and turn it off. And to some extent, that's very authentic. So a lot of us deep diving into our self-care right now, setting up new routines, that spring breeze kind of energy coming in a little bit late, but hey, when it comes, and that's when we need it. So whether we're running forward ahead of the collective or we're bringing up the rear, all are welcome here. So as we finish off the spring season and we get closer and closer to the summer solstice, things start to get ramped up a little bit. You can feel it. You can feel it in the collective. Things are getting exciting. We're coming off of some really powerful clarity when it comes to our manifestations, the things that we desire for ourselves, in our lives, around us. The things that we have that we're appreciating on just the deepest levels. The high of appreciation and gratitude is so high right now. You can, if you're a manifester, if you're into the law of attraction, you can feel that pumping energy into the manifestation world, the world of pleasure, the world of enjoyment, the world of sovereignty, the divine energy. That really is what divine is about when we're talking divine feminine, divine masculine, as opposed to just feminine and masculine energy, which we all carry within us. The divinity aspect is coming in very, 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 very strong. And that's really amplifying things. Typically we get that amplification or illumination with the full moon, but this new moon, the change, the shift, the new ideas are really feeling amplified. So I don't know how much newness there really is coming in with the new moon. It depends on how clear, honest, and receptive you've been with yourself about your authentic desires, about your authentic being, what you are, before you try to define it or add some skills or pamper it all up. It's like what you are, though, in all of its glory. So all of the good stuff, you can look at the flaws, the weaknesses, the negativities, past mistakes, or you can take the whole of your strengths, of your best decisions, biggest accomplishments, and what you are. All those strengths coming together. So very strong energy out here for the manifestors right now. If you're into manifestation, this is a great season for it. And it's not just Gemini new moon, it is going into the summer season. So it is the time for sowing your seeds. It's the time for tending to the things that we've already sown. So making sure that no rodents, insects, pests, diseases have gotten a hold of your desire or your whatever you seeded into that soil. Make sure everything looks good. Put in the hard work. This is the season of hard work. The summer season, as we're going into it, we're crossing it. Gemini is giving us that little taste of what this summer could be like for us. So like I said, pleasure, all of our desires, very, very clear, very much so on the table. Again, don't worry if that's not you yet. If you're bringing up the rear a little bit with clarifying some of your desires, I myself am bringing up the rear a little bit in that, and I'm tapping into that energy in a very powerful way. You feel that your desires, from this perspective, you feel very clear about your desires. So if that hasn't made it to the mind and, with your pen and paper to the journal or whatnot, don't worry. It's only a matter of time before you get that representation in front of you, exactly who you want to be, what you want to feel like, what you want to live like, where you want to go, what you want to do. Okay, there are endless possibilities, infinite possibilities out here, especially for the collective right now. The collective that I read for, I was going to say we, because we're here together. And if you didn't make it here, this wouldn't even exist in the first place. But we're getting to this point where the clarity is so real, the power behind it is so real. It's only a matter of time now. The possibilities truly are endless for this collective. So it's not even be careful what you wish for. It's like leave the fear out of it. Just get to know yourself, okay? In that truth, in that authenticity, and to see the world with the same love and compassion that you're seeing yourself in its wholeness, okay? Taking the judgment out of it for a second will really allow you to consume a lot of information very quickly. So as we look at something, feel something, judge something, analyze something, I'm a big analyzer myself. I like to break it all down, make sure I got it clear before coming up with a philosophy on it. But if you want to take all that judgment and analyzing and all that time out of it and just observe, absorb, surrender, receive, you're gonna bring in a lot of information, a lot of data very, very, very quickly. And just trusting the process that when the time comes, you will be able to process the data, the information, the truth, the growth, the change, So feeling a little bit like we need to get into the passenger seat, or at least accept the fact that we're in the fucking passenger seat, whether we like it or not. It feels like spirit has got chariot. And if you don't know tarot, I just mean whoever's driving the chariot, which is massive amounts of unstoppable force, creating momentum. It ain't you. Okay, there's a time for the Incubus song to drive, and now is not the time, okay? Because we've done that. We've grabbed the wheel, we've stood up for our beliefs and ourselves and others. We've processed our emotions, we've, healed a lifetime of it, but we've done that kind of work. So now is not the time to be individual and stand up for your beliefs and yada yada, because most of us have done enough of that and opened and received and created safe spaces for others to do enough of that it's time for the next step. It wasn't just about shedding all of the, what do they call it? Like small-minded thinking, all of the hindering beliefs. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about. Limited beliefs. It's not just about that. We've done that. Now it's time to receive all of the bliss, receive all of the gifts, all of the power, so that we can learn new levels of responsibility. We can understand how to wield more power. Okay? Because it's time. It's time in a lot of different ways for a lot of different ones of us out here. It's just time. We're either at that age or fate is a knocking. You know how it goes out here. You're divine. You're femme. You know how it goes. Okay. We're going to get into this tarot reading. Cheers to you if you're having a little sip. I'm having some coffee. I do love my coffee. In these really cute little mugs that I just got that I'm pretty in love with. So cheers to you. Get into your safe space, your comfortable space, whatever you like to do. I've got an incense stick burning for us. It is vanilla. That's all there is to it. And we're going to pick our oracle cards. Okay, first things first. We have to pick our oracle deck, at least our first oracle deck, and nothing and nobody is really standing out. Anybody? Anyone calling? Okay, no. So we're going to go with a classic here on the channel, the Crystal Oracle deck. We will start with that and just see what kind of energy, what kind of messages are coming up for the new moon in Gemini. And we are reading the water element today, the emotions, the sacral chakra. Do we know the chakra system at this point? We're going to keep talking about it until it feels like we know it, because it is our body. This isn't spiritual philosophy anymore. Okay, I'm trying to think of like the sciencey words for it. The energy centers of the body, where energy spirals in a specific direction when it's all in alignment. That's science. We have the 11:11 on the clock when I said it. Dr. Joe Dispenza and like Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden. There's like a trifecta of the three of them. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a great place to go, at least to start, that I can think of off the top of my head for understanding the science behind that. If you're not quite, I think he's a neurosurgeon. I don't know if surgeon's the word. Neurodoc. Anyways, I'm just saying. The alignment that we're going to get into here is about pleasure. The sacral chakra is about pleasure. It's blocked by guilt, just to put it black and white. It's pretty simple in that sense, but there's a lot of layers to pleasure. The first one, Gemini season. We're talking about Gemini season here. Or not Gemini season, like the moon season. New moon Gemini. It's the mental space, and it's the twins. Black and white, yin and yang, masculine, feminine, up, down, as above, so below, blah, 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 blah. However you want to break down the polarities or the dualities. You also, with your sun sign, like I'm a Pisces, you have a polarity. Pisces polarity is Virgo. What's yours? Do you know the strengths and weaknesses of your sun sign? Do you know it of your polarity? I learned a lot by studying the strengths and weaknesses of my polarity, because your polarity is meant to be your weakness, but a weakness that is yours, intended to develop new strengths, and a dynamic range, you know, that is unique to you. So there's some exploring to be had there if you are struggling in any way, or if you're needing like a new research topic or a project, or self-help just isn't getting you there. Pleasure is not happening. It's like you're not satisfied, you're not being fulfilled, you're not getting any closer to your manifestations, you're not finding the ideal partner, you're not happy at your job, you are not in your ideal, you know, home. Even if it's not dream home, it's like you're not even in your ideal apartment. Okay, so talking about polarities, as divine feminines, we read for the divine feminine, but here we go. Pyrite, beautiful stone. I usually have some right here, but I don't know where it is right now. It's on the other altar. Beautiful, beautiful stone to work with. Male power, I love that. Pyrite's called fool's gold, so it's the perfect masculine to the feminine that is gold. And the logic is really kind of putting a damper on the pleasure here, because 1 + 1 = 2, and $2 ain't enough for shit anymore. You know, like that's the kind of energy that I'm getting off of this, which is fun. It's feeling like so over it, like so fed up. Let me just fix this lighting real quick because the sun just came out. That's how I do it. Okay, I'm just lock it, bam, and then it won't be all gold, like, even though I'm digging it. I'm digging the golden hues. This has the energy and the message coming through of everything you touch turns to gold. So take that however that resonates with you, as just a theme coming into this reading. With the new moon, we can always manifest change. We can always manifest new things, new resources. It's the newness is the universe's cradle. Interesting way to say that. Universe's cradle of your desires that are new. when you feel stuck, when you feel stagnant, when you feel, because we're talking water, it really is all about the feelings. When you feel bored, unsatisfied, we need bottom of the deck with aventurine. We need growth. We need change. We need more. We need it to not feel so mundane. So the new moon energy is a perfect time to manifest new, to ask and receive, whichever state feels like a state of matter. It's really interesting. Particle science is coming up now. I'm not a big science person, like I can dabble, but dang, there's a lot of things coming through. So I can feel the sciencey minds out there. I can feel some of you really exploring this in a new way, taking this to a whole new level where you're bringing your ability to work really hard in real life with real life skills, practical things that you can, put on a resume, put in a portfolio, things that you've got the 10,000 hours and the receipts to show, all of that. And bringing not a passive, but like a divine, a spiritual aspect into it where it amplifies. So you don't just work hard, you get lucky. You're not just lucky, you're blessed. And you're not just blessed, you're in fucking awe. That's the kind of full spectrum of science and spirituality when it comes to manifestation. I mean, I'm sure there's many different ways to define it, and that's only one of them, but our card for the reading is going to be Amethyst, coming in with this divine connection, and that's exactly what this is about. This is the upper chakras, especially the crown, getting in tune with everything down to the throat chakra, all the air, okay? And to even get up here in alignment, we have to open stuff below that. And that's the learning process of growing into an adult and opening the heart. Are we born with open hearts? Sure, but that, before we get any say in our consciousness, that gets stitched up and guarded, okay? Because the world is a hungry place. The world is dark. The world is however you want to say it. And that's all just part of our process. Our growing process, our natural process. So a lot of power coming online here for some of the collective. And I like that. That's feeling, I am a manifester myself. I work on mastery in every aspect of my life. So mastery on the table here for manifestations. That takes us immediately into our second deck, which is the Dragon Oracle. If you're curious about the decks I use, I usually list them and link them down below in the description box. If you get down there in the description box and they're not listed or linked, please just leave it in the comment section and I'd be happy to update that for you. We are in the season of the dragon, and that is such a powerful energy for burning away infection, for healing in mystical, mythological, legendary ways. Like there's an element of legendary is like greatness, that's like real, but mythical, mythological, mystical, those are very much so like the fantasy realm. But in some aspect, we play with that realm all the time. We watch Netflix. We fall in love with people on the screen. We imagine things beyond our reality. And we play with mystical creatures all the time, like in Game of Thrones, or I love Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's the cartoon one. Working with the elements like we do. If you know the show, then you get that probably pretty quickly. Great show just to balance the elements in a very simple way. The inner child, if you want to go back to kids stuff, like kids shows, animated shows, Disney and these anime shows and whatever, it's a great way to simplify things. They say if you can't explain your idea or philosophy to a 6-year-old child, you probably don't understand it well enough yourself. And if you take the ego out of that statement, then it's actually really clarifying, because it's like, okay, that's simple then. Anything I desire, anything I feel, if I can process it from the point of a 6-year-old, Very little emotional control at that age, very little experience at that age, no experience pretty much. And your everything is just coming online. So everything is new and a little uncomfortable, and the growing pains are fucking serious for the next like 10 years. But there's something really raw and powerful and unmanipulated, untainted in that energy. So that can be really, really helpful for some of us, again, who are struggling with clarity. But manifestation, healing, big change, big, unimaginable, impossibly fantastical things available to us within this energy if we're in the mood. Okay, bottom of the deck, the Lilac Fire Dragon transmutes through the power of divine love. Oh yeah, more divinity. Like our first card, Divine Connection with Amethyst, one of my favorite stones. I always keep amethyst around. My grandfather had big chunks of raw amethyst all over his library, which was like one of those beautiful bookcase kind of libraries. He had globes and he had amethyst, and I'll never forget it because that had a big influence on me. And I've always loved amethyst. It's a very powerful, very, very helpful for anybody kind of stone. Okay, bottom of the deck, because we just got our card, is the Black Dragon from Saturn. I can't remember what it is because I'm not an astrologer, but Saturn's got some stuff going on right now. Saturn's doing all kinds of stuff. I know Saturn in Pisces is something I've heard multiple times now. So brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Saturn is always about discipline. It's always about logic. 1 + 1 = 2. That's how we do it. If we change it, it's fine, but that's how it is right now, so get on board. It's the kind of energy where you just can't pretend. You know, it's like Granddaddy Saturn, Big Daddy Saturn. To me, it's very much, again, like that grandfather kind of energy where you respect it to such a degree that you trust it, you feel safe with it. You know that even when it's giving you discipline and it hurts, that it is for your best good, your best interest. It is for you. And it is about love. That's the key, right? You don't want discipline from a cold, anonymous source. You want discipline from somebody who loves you, who knows you, who you're more than just a number or another one in a group kind of energy. So this is feeling very personal, which is interesting. We got black and we got white. The pure white dragon from Orion. Transforms, more transformation energy. Transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Pure wisdom, divine connection. So a lot of this energy of source tapping in. You see all those beautiful rays coming off of that. It's like that is the wings. Those are the wings of the dragon lifting it. Is that coming from divine, that source energy spreading out? Beautiful imagery there. Even the colors working together, and I like it. Pure white and from Orion. Process what you know. Act with truth and honesty, of course, and let your wings of light grow and be expanded. And expand, it says. Okay, cheers. It just got really windy out there. If you can hear the trees like hitting on the roof. Okay. We're gonna take a nice deep breath together and get into alignment while we pick our tarot deck. It just got like really serious. It just got with the grandma and the grandpa and the energy of growth and divine connections. It feels like the ancestors are around, and I don't want to like act a fool. You know the feeling when somebody you really respect and admire and maybe even love, like family you love, as opposed to like somebody doing a presentation. There's a high level of respect all of a sudden coming in here. So the feeling of wanting to be serious, wanting to listen and be heard. So there's a slowness that comes in there. Okay, when someone really important is talking, you don't interrupt them. You just don't interrupt them. You listen. And if the time is right, you get to talk. I was always the baby of a big family, so there wasn't a lot of your turn, baby, kind of energy coming in for me. So I don't know why this is coming up, what this has to do with anything, but there's that feeling of seriousness now. There's the feeling of really slowing down, taking a second. And this is, keep in mind, this is water element for the new moon Gemini. So sometime under this moon energy for you could be anytime in the next 2 weeks, could be today. Okay. This energy is going to play out and it's going to be relevant. These messages are going to be part of your journey for this. So just keep that in mind. All of a sudden, there's this feeling of seriousness and it's very exciting. It feels like you're over the moon excited to be in this person's presence at this location, at an event, doing something incredible. Or just really serious. Like I'm getting the energy of walking into the Vatican or up to one of the Da Vinci paintings in the Louvre or something. It's like not on a guided tour with like all the public, but it was like shut down. Everything's private, everything's quiet, and you just don't act a fool. You just don't act a fool right now. That's the energy. It keeps coming through. You just don't act a fool right now. Fair enough. With that, we have chosen our tarot deck. Today we are going to use the Tarot of the Familiars. I love the feeling of the familiars when I'm a little unsure. I'm feeling a little unsure here. It's touch and go. Because the familiars are meant to be companion energies. No matter what animal or card comes up, you're starting with the energy of it coming from a familiar. Again, this coming through. Black and white and divine. Okay, where it's coming from like a big Saturn, Orion with all the pureness and then divine connection. It's just kind of like, okay, if you become a prophet, like if you're into religion, a prophet is somebody who got a message directly from, somebody super important, just to put it simply. If you're a prophet, you listen different than the way that maybe we've been moving lately. Maybe we've just been moving kind of janky lately, and it's time to tap into, again, our sovereignty. Always coming back to this message, to take ourselves seriously, to see ourselves in a divine, important, respectable kind of way. So finally allowing the ego I don't know how my shadow wants to say it, so I'm letting her have her think about it. How do you want to say it? Finally letting the ego what's the ego doing? It's kind of like taking a back seat to maybe you're playing with your image a little bit right now. Maybe you're playing with your desires, your manifestations, your dream life a little bit right now. Maybe you're testing out things with your partner or in the kitchen or, in your real life in some way right now, testing out new vehicles or something, really stepping out of your comfort zone, but it's not out of your comfort zone in any way. This is just a natural expression. It's like if you were always goth and now you're trying prep, or you always were super casual, rough and tumble, BC girls. I'm from British Columbia, Canada. And you're trying a more elegant, more sophisticated look. There's something in contrast here. And when we talk Gemini, it is never a surprise to get contrast like that, because it is about both the twins. And they are twins. That's the key. That's what I mean. It's not outside your comfort zone. It's one and the same. It's like Bailey Sarian. Do you know who Bailey Sarian is? She always says it's just makeup. People say to her all the time, because she does really intense, awesome, creative makeup, right? And people always say to her, oh, I wish I could do my makeup like that, in the comment section. And she said it multiple times in videos. She's like, it's just makeup. If you want to do your makeup like this, just do your makeup like this. It washes off. Don't be afraid, And I remember that really resonating with me at a much younger age, where it was just who cares? Who cares if it's messed up? And now, that being said, the contrast is I like the idea of being refined, sophisticated, and put together. So I don't want to be looking a fool out here. There's a time and a place to experiment within that safe zone, okay? So no judgment and no shame. You do you, baby. And it's all love and it's all supportive out here, especially for the feminines. Divine Feminine Collective is out here creating all these safe spaces for us to explore, express, have fun. You know, you can take a million pictures and you don't have to post a single one. You could do anything that you wanted and just maybe try to see yourself in a way that you've never seen yourself before. That could just be a simple version of this message. You know, try something new. Be expressive just for fun. Now the inner child with that growth card, I'll show you in 1 second. Now the inner child of that beautiful fairy is coming out and just expressing herself and having the most fun and enjoying life for the simple pleasure and joy of it. Okay, so a lot of experience coming in here where we can just have some fun, try some new things. I found so many things that I love to this day that I have refined and put countless hours into building skills around. I would have never guessed that these interests and these things would have been for me, and I am so grateful to the influences and all the things that made me try it. Just try it. You know, that's the message coming in. If you want to, just try it. You never know. Express yourself. Be fearless. You know, it's all about having that open-hearted moment. Okay, a little bit of compassion, a little bit of grace here for yourself as well. Giving yourself some safe space to create without any judgment. Okay, and of course, we're starting off with the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That's perfect. That is a masculine master of the water element, and we're reading water. So it couldn't be more perfect to have that safe space. A lot of us didn't grow up with maybe the kind of parents that we wanted. And when it comes to the masculine, emotional relationship with our parents, even some of the parents that were there, they just didn't have it in them to give this to us. They hadn't maybe mastered it themselves, or for whatever reason, a lot of us really felt that we were lacking a masculine, emotional, like a real father figure, I guess, is how it's coming through. You know, where you're safe and you're protected and you're heard and they entertain all of your wild and crazy ideas, and I'm going to put on a play and everybody's going to watch, you know, like there's a really beautiful father-daughter energy coming in here that I like. That's for the entire collective, okay? Regardless of your actual family dynamics, this is just Divine Feminine to Divine Feminine speaking on the energy. The King of Cups is a beautiful master from the masculine perspective of water. So again, creating those safe spaces, really allowing yourself the room to express some things that might not be so cool or worth anything, you know? They might even be kind of annoying, obnoxious. We have this really intense kind of negative projection of the feminine, especially like young girl energy, where it's annoying and loud and never has anything important to say. And you know what I mean? If you want to go lay in a field and, you know, just watch the sky pass you on by, do it. If you want to do something that has no intrinsic value in this world, do it. Because it's time to express yourself. Okay, let's get into our tarot reading here. With the first card out, we have the Knight of Wands. This is a very decisive energy. It is fire and it is a knight or a warrior. Think about that, right? So once we get an idea, we are on a fucking mission. Because there's so much divine energy around us with our oracle cards, we get like a disciplinary, high stakes, unbelievably respectable energy, with this coming in as a warrior, it's like we're on a mission now. There is something that we respect, that we honor, it's one of our core values, and we are very set on achieving in that field or in that realm or with that subject. I love the Knight's energy when there is action to be taken, because they are the most capable. Even the kings and queens, they call on their knights to go to war, to protect the kingdom, to get shit done. And in the off season, when there's no war, they are the working class. They are the ones who build shit, do shit. Without the knights, the warriors, the capable, the skilled, anybody with a skill, you know, we all have that energy nowadays in the modern world. We've all been, you know, given the opportunities to build those skills and to be valuable warriors, even from a young age. So appreciating that's a big message. Taking the time to appreciate your skill set and all that you've accomplished, because this is our past energy, right? Like, we do a 5-card spread, so the central energy is central, and then there's 2 behind and 2 in front. So we're starting off with this Knight of Wands energy. It's like, appreciate the skills that you have and know that if anything's about to come up, that's the energy you're coming at it from, is like very capable. Second card out. I love this. Since we're doing water element, we've got some feminine energy here. The feminine energy with the Empress. Yeah, big mama of the tarot, the queen of all 4 queens. So she's all 4 queens in one: earth, air, fire, and water. And we get the Empress. So big responsibility, big shoes to fill. We've been through many, many battles. We are not in our maiden stage here, okay? We're on to the mothers and the crones in this energy. So if you are a maiden or you have that youthful energy coming in, tapping into anybody who feels like they are in that elder stage for you. Now, all of a sudden, age is nothing in this, okay? Anybody can be an elder to you, but our elders are out here too, right? Like, just something to keep in mind. Going to battle and really protecting that energy the way that it's protected us. Interesting message coming through. Let's see what we get for earth element, water element under new moon Gemini. That earth energy with the Empress is really, really strong. Again, the safe spaces, the capable energy is very, very strong for you right now. Ooh, and centrally, I already saw it. Centrally, the 2 of Swords. Okay. For water, there is it's a simpler decision than you think it is. There's something here that, because of these core values, because of who your grandparents were, because there's like a high level of honor, respect, you know, that feeling of big shoes to fill. There's a big energy of that makes a big part of who you are, and there's a decision to be made in that realm. You are very capable, capable of making this decision, but it's time to face something or do something because of that. And it's not a simple this or that anymore either. You know, there's a little more complexity to a decision that you have in front of you right now. Let's see what that's all about. A little more complexity. It's only a matter of time before you know exactly what you want to do or need to do. If you're feeling really conflicted, we will see what comes out with these cards. But if you're feeling conflicted about a decision you have to make right now, it's because you already made the decision, you don't like it. There's something about it you don't like. Okay, so that's really about being a warrior. And mothers, I mean, are extremely capable. You know what I mean? Think of when their baby's injured. Mothers are the most capable, right? My mom just posted, mom's like new to Facebook and stuff, the interwebs. She just posted, she learned how to like share posts. She posted this one and she put in the caption, what you do for family. And it's a snake that's got a hold of a chipmunk. And the other chipmunk is it's like a pretty big snake if you're a chipmunk, you know what I mean? So the one is just crushed by this fucking snake in there. You can't even tell if it's alive. I mean, it is alive, but, and this other chipmunk is just like fucking going to town. He's going to take this snake out no matter what. So there's a beautiful energy of the capability of the feminine, the mother, not just her warriors and her knights and the sons out here, capable as ever, but you get these two together fighting for a cause. You know what I mean? And the stakes get higher the more capable you are. So that could be part of the difficulty here, is the stakes are getting higher or getting very, very serious all of a sudden. Our fourth card out is the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands here, it's quick action. It's, you know, decisions need to be made quickly all of a sudden. So getting into a humble, aligned space is always going to be my advice if this is incoming and you have decisions to make and it's serious. Or even if it's just for fun, for growth, for luxury, enjoyment, the right thing to do, and not in like a super heavy way, even though this does have a bit of a heavy element. Like, it's got the feeling of family, right? And when it's family, it always is, it's a little more serious than your typical stuff. I mean, quitting a job is one thing, but going against your family is like, do you see what I mean? Like, this feels a little bit more personal than just a job or something like that. And when we're talking the water element, it really, what else triggers our feelings than, you know, the people we love and care about, our family members, our true desires, our core values, like the things that we have as a number one value for life, for us, for the world, for whatever. Okay. Nice deep breath. And again. Almost wanted to come up. We need one more card in our 5-card spread before we get into our clarifiers. This is a quick pick spread. If you decide to go forward in getting a personal reading with me, they are still available. There's a few in June and most of July is open. Okay. The quick pick spread is typically 15, 20 minutes. We just draw this one out, but 30-minute readings are available. Hour-long readings plus are available. Just message me, okay? 5th card out, an ace. I got too excited to finish that message because I saw the ace. And it's fire, more fire. So we just came off the 8 of fire, and now we're into the Ace of Fire. So once things get a moving here, they're gonna be a moving. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Chariot come out at some point, because we started with the Knight of Wands and we're finishing this row off with the Ace of Wands. So you can expect what gets the water warmed and boiled and cleaned and refined and all perfect for bathing. Fire. Okay, so fire and water are working together really nicely here. As we get into the full moon. The full moon is going to be a big part of, I think, this process, because this decision is going to be so personal for each of us. It's going to take a couple of weeks to really get sorted out before we can move off this energy. I feel like if we did, say, like, not even into the full moon energy, but like a week from now, if we did another fire or water reading, we would get the same concept from a different angle or whatever, but we'd end up with the same basic message, which is like, you have a big decision to make. You're very capable of this, and it is as serious to you as you feel like it is. So if all of a sudden, if you have no idea what's going on and you're just getting like hit right now with all of this stuff that's trying to tell you to slow down, then here's your, synchronicity. Yes, it is trying to tell you to slow down because there's something big coming in for you right now. And it's honest. It's something you really want, with growth on the bottom. And then our actual card for it, divine connection, like your spirits, your angels, your protectors, your ancestors, they don't come in unless there's shit going on. You know what I mean? If it's time to do something that you want or it's for you, that's when they come in with these connections and messages and guidance and growth and lessons sometimes, depending on, what kind of protection is needed. With the Empress out here, it feels very much so like that big mama protection energy. Also the queen of the kingdom, right? So our first clarifier is the Magician. Make sure I got these right for you. And we're clarifying our Knight of Wands. So this was our first card out, if you remember. The warrior energy, Knight of Fire. And the Magician is the manifester. So the key, because he's major arcana, our Magician is our alchemist. That's our Christ consciousness kind of energy, where when we are in alignment and all of our current gifts are activated, anything is possible. So that's another way of looking at the Knight of Wands that I never really thought of before, because this warrior energy, when it's fire that is backing the warrior of the tarot energy, you get all the good and all the bad. So the alchemist can create dark or light magic, dark or light alchemy, dark or light, you know, whatever it is. And the Knight of Wands is really the same way. It's like you can produce right now just about anything you want, but you can act a fool in a place that matters to you. It's not about rebelling somewhere that you're always told to raise your hand to speak. I mean, that's a fucking awesome way to fulfill this energy as well, if that's what's going on for you. But there's something bigger for the collective to understand here, and it's that being rebellious is respectable to you, to others, to this collective for sure. But acting a fool in a place that you have a lot of respect for is never cool. It's like, it would be cooler to just have the nervous breakdown that you clearly need to have if you're acting a fool somewhere where it's like it's a cry for help, right? So recognizing this in the self is really important, because we don't want to be acting a fool and burning bridges or creating more karma or more need for healing right now. We just want to get into alignment. We are strong. We are powerful. We are capable. We have done the work. We have been through it. We have the fucking battle wounds. We can sit and compare scars all day long, baby. It's one of my favorite things to do with my friends. Okay. I think you get it. So we will keep on trucking. Cheers. We're almost done. Don't worry. 45 minutes in. We're getting there. Okay, let's clarify this. Oh, that is so too many. Oh, they all came face up though, so we're taking them. Bottom of the deck, the Two of Cups. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh my God. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to read this, so I'm just going to put them all back together because I didn't really see any of them. And we'll go one for one. Under the Empress, we have the Five of Pentacles. No one better than Mama to teach you what it is to be outcast, to feel like you've lost something that you value, to not fit in somewhere you want to fit in, to feel like you don't have. Mama's always there, man. Mama's got the best energy. To clarify that central energy with the Two of Swords, you will never believe it, but it's the Two of Wands. We're going to talk Two of Fire. Under our Eight of Wands, we have the King of Wands. If you remember when we started, when we finished shuffling, we had the King of Water on the bottom of the deck. Again, speaking to that fire-water connection within the elements right now. Just make sure you're taking good care of yourself and finding your balance, because it's really going to feed into you and prepare you for what's coming next. Side by side, King of Pentacles as our final clarifier. And this one's clarifying the Ace of Wands. So we just have a huge block of fire going on over there, and then boom. The King of Pentacles brings in, Pentacles being the earth element, the feminine. As you can see, we have masculine and feminine counterparts depicted in that image under the full moon. So we got about 2 weeks here. Got about 2 weeks for this energy to play out. And then we have two more cards. We also have the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. The twos coming out here. The mirroring, the twinning, the reflective energy. Okay, that's new moon Gemini to a T. Gemini season is really about understanding the dual aspects of yourself, of the world, of the way that this whole universe out here works that is observable to us. It is cause and effect. And it's the simplicity of things, because it will always be the nature to be in balance, but you have to be able to see from certain levels of consciousness, perspective, understanding, to fully be aware of all balances. And it's not our job. It's not our job to fully understand or process things. This message here with the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups is really about allowing the observable nature of yourself. So allowing things that are out of balance. It is not up to you to fix them, okay? When it's time to get your work done, you get your work done. As a feminine, it's growing, it's healing, it's reaping, it's creating, it is taking care of, it is all of the things that you put under that hat of feminine. Okay, but there's a beautiful energy here of receiving a full cup for all your hard work, being appreciated and loved and seen. That's really beautiful. So let's explain some of our clarifiers. Centrally, we had the Two of Swords, and we're clarifying with more mirroring the Two of Wands. So twos are always about decisions and couplings and, you know, those moments of decisiveness where we go from 2 to 1. We commit to something, we make a choice, we cut something, we process something, we understand something. I love the Two of Wands energy. It's one of my favorite energies. It's one of my favorite things to do is to decide this or that. It's like when you're shopping, you have to choose the color of whatever the fuck you're buying today, right? Or you have to pick this or that. It's just one big day of this or that, that or this or that. And it can be really fun and it can be really beautiful. But when maybe you've been avoiding some of those bigger changes in your life right now, or making some of those big decisions, or being the one, it's like you have to put on that hat of like the queen of all the other queens. She runs not a kingdom, she runs the queens and kings of other kingdoms. This is the sovereign leader of the real world, okay? So it's like if church would have been like above like, do you know what I mean? It's like she takes on, she is only the queen of other queens. That's why they call her the Empress. You notice that like some countries have like presidents, some have prime ministers and monarchs, some have preachers, some have sovereigns. Like it's just, if you look at the titles, it's kind of funny. I don't know why that's coming in for us right now, but it really is about what we identify with. Are you sovereign? Can you handle that level of responsibility that's being called for you right now? Because it's not your typical work. It's not your typical work. This is going to be, you see the smile on my face right now? This is pure joy. This is making decisions you want to make, to run kingdoms. There's a song, If I Ruled the World. Isn't that like the Fugees or something? Oh my God, I don't even know. If I ruled the world, I free all my sons. Love them, baby. That's all I can hear now. Anyways, so this is about running shit, running the kingdom, being capable. And it's kind of funny to see them coming out the way they are, because it's like they say true leaders are called. That's how this feels. You're not getting a lot of choices here, which is even funnier of a message if our central energy is about choices. So this to me is saying, as somebody who loves the Two of Fire, appreciate the choices you do get to make and make them, lest they be made for you. Yikes. There's that fucking, do you remember the Black Dragon of Saturn coming in immediately? Sometimes Spirit. Okay, where do you want to look at Spirit? Where's Spirit coming from you? Pow, pow, pow. My ancestors came in for this one. Prime Source is here. The Orion, the Saturn, like, we got a lot of different spirit action being called here. Who the fuck do you answer to? You know, because they're coming in, and if you don't do it, they're just going to pull that cord real quick, like. So, it's interesting to see how much power we do have, to make choices here, and also how little power. I'll show you what I mean. Clarifying our Knight of Wands, we had the Magician. And then as our fifth card out, we have the Ace of Wands. Both are aces. This is Ace of Major Arcana, and this is Ace of Fire. So we do have the choice to create. We have the choice to make the move, to manifest, to pick this over that, him over her, us over them, we over that. There's a lot of different examples popping in. But the most important part is to understand that we created this before we ever got here. So there's a lot of things from the past being wrapped up in this season right now. I'm sure you can feel it with the way the world and the politics and everything's feeling just kind of like weirdly old and stagnant and repetitive. And like if they come out with the fifth fucking the sequels, like, do you see what I mean? Everything is being sort of regurgitated. You have the ability to manifest new, but what's coming up that you're making decisions about long since passed. So just make those decisions quick, get the fuck out of there if you need to. You can hang around if it's really a lot of fun, but it feels like a lot of this, the decisions you have to make now aren't about manifesting your future. They're about just whipping through some things that were done in the past. So don't be surprised if you end up working with the water element in extreme ways this new moon. I'm a Gemini, I'm a Gemini ascending or rising sign, but I'm a Pisces, so I feel like I handle this kind of change really easily. I'm comfortable making decisions like this that end up being quite changing. I don't know how to say it. It's not that it's meant to be a warning, but when you've got kings side by side, empresses coming beside her knights, it's like, ooh, there's gonna be some movement, some action. The kingdom is going to make or break, and you know, depending on where we're at, that's just what needs to happen next. It's just, this is what needs to happen next. Okay, I can feel a lot of the different collective out here going through different phases within their kingdom, but we're all on the same path to growth, you know, to that expansion, that evolution that we're really going for, the micro and the macro, where we become part of history. Historically speaking, we were alive in that era, we did our part, you know. So appreciating the growth. I love that underneath her is the rose quartz with love. So aventurine, rose quartz. We saw amethyst out here. Beautiful stones to work with. Look at those greens, purples, pinks, blues. I'm loving that energy. I'm loving that color. Let that sink in if that is doing it for you. Trust the process. Trust your ancestors, your guides, your angels, yourself, your higher self, your aspects. Trust the work that you've put in. Okay? Because nobody got you to this point. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Cups is like, you are supported. You are protected. Even if you feel like you're alone in this, you are never as alone as you think you are. 5 of Pentacles under our Empress. Mama is there with you, even if it's just the universe taking you through this. Okay, so keep that in mind, that as you go through this process, make these decisions, manifest this change, survive it, accept it, whatever it is, that you're not alone, that you're on path, that you're exactly where you were meant to be. And we're going to leave that one right there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got everything you needed out of this elemental new moon tarot. Like I said, personals are still available. If you want to get a personal reading with me, message me anywhere you have me on social media. Information is down in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. We can get you all booked in for a reading. 1 more to go for the new moon Gemini, and then it is the summer solstice. Just like that, time is a-flying. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy your new moon cycle, and we'll see you on your next reading.